The wind howled through the trees as Emily lit the last candle in her dimly lit cabin. She had ignored the warnings from the locals about staying overnight in the cursed woods. The eerie silence outside was unnerving, but she reassured herself it was just a myth. Then, a faint whisper echoed from the dark corners of the room. At first, she thought it was the wind, but as it grew louder, her heart pounded. Scene 2. Gripping a flashlight, she hesitantly stepped toward the old mirror by the fireplace. The whispers were clearer now, forming words she couldn't quite understand. As she got closer, the reflection in the mirror changed. It wasn't her own. A shadowy figure stood behind her, grinning. She spun around, but the room was empty. Cold breath brushed against her neck, sending a shiver down her spine. Scene 3. The whispers turned into distorted laughter, filling the room with an unbearable dread. Emily backed away, but the mirror suddenly cracked, and the lights flickered violently. A deep, raspy voice emerged from the darkness. "You shouldn't have come here." The temperature plummeted, her breath visible in the air. Panic surged through her veins as she tried to run, but her legs refused to move. Scene 4. Desperate, she grabbed the old lantern from the table and hurled it at the mirror. The glass shattered, and the laughter stopped. For a moment, silence returned. But then, from the broken shards, dozens of hollow eyes stared at her. The pieces on the floor trembled and began to move, pulling themselves back together. The shadow was no longer trapped. It was free. Emily's scream echoed into the night as the darkness engulfed her. The next morning, the cabin stood eerily quiet. The locals found nothing but an unbroken mirror, reflecting something that wasn't there. And if you stood in front of it long enough, you'd hear the whispers begin again.